So last week we talked about verb phrases, and today, this morning, we talked about adjective phrases. And so we looked at the features of adjectives. We looked at the functions. An adjective is used as the head in an adjective phrase. And we say that the adjectives can appear in two different positions. Where are they? After a linking verb. She is hardworking. Or before a hardworking girl. So we call these adjectives, we have got special names for them. Predicative adjectives after a linking verb. And also attributive adjectives before a noun. And most adjectives can appear in both positions, but some adjectives can appear in only one position, like alive, asleep, alone. They are predicative adjectives. Now, many of these predicative adjectives start with A. Alive, asleep, alone. And some other adjectives appear before nouns, attributive. For example, elder, my elder brother, elder. But you can't say my brother is elder. Elder. Another example, attributive. Attributive adjectives. The reason, the main reason, the major reason, the chief reason, chief, major, main, these are attributive adjectives. And then we talk about still about features of adjectives. So we look at the function, we look at the dependence. So we look at the dependence. The dependence means the words that can modify an adjective. So what kinds of words can modify an adjective? Pre-modifiers. Yeah, some adverbs like very, rather, quite. And so this will be related to gradability, whether the adjectives can be gradable or not. Some adjectives can't be graded. Those that are about kinds, different types. For example, we have a physical test or a chemical experiment, chemical reaction. So these are about the types, chemical, physical, economic, and those are not gradable. So in an adjective phrase, we have the pre-modifiers. We also have the post-modifier as the dependents. For example, I'm keen on something. So on something can be regarded as a post-modifier. I'm keen on collecting money. Look, on collecting money is a post-modifier. What else do we look at? Well, we look at inflection, right? The inflectional morphemes. What are the inflectional morphemes for adjectives? Thank you, Eugene. ER and EST. Quiet, quieter, and quietist. And also we look at lexical morphemes or derivational morphemes to form adjectives. What are they? What morphemes can be used to modify to make an adjective? FUL, careful. IOUS, for example. Dangerous. OUS. Yes. Okay. Dangerous. And AL. Like national. Okay, yes. So we look at these features of adjectives and also gradability. And we also look at the comparison. So we say that we have 3 degrees. The first one is the absolute degree, that means nothing. So tall means tall. he's comparing him with another person, then taller. Alright, so Gina is probably taller than Jackie. Yes, Jackie is so short. So taller, and who is the tallest in this class? Who? Dennis. Dennis? I don't know. Archie? Or who? Okay. So we have the inflectional morpheme for adjectives, two, ER and EST. But some adjectives are long and complex, and we use the more and most. These two adverbs to show the degree. And then we call this kind of comparison not inflectional, but analytical, with more and most, with more beautiful, analytical. Now, in the old days, we said that, adjectives with 3 or more than 3 syllables will have more and most for comparisons. But this morning, we overthrew this. We said, actually, no. So many adjectives with 2 syllables, like polite, like sure, angry, hungry, can have both forms. They have variant comparative forms. So we can say angrier or more angry. And we use the corpus to find out how the English is used. Okay, regular and irregular adjectives. Irregular adjectives refer to those that got a different spelling. Like far, we have farther or further, farthest and also furthest. So the spelling is different. And some of these adjectives have got 2 variants, but they are not used in the same way. Like older and elder. Older is a prototypical adjective that can be used in either position. I'm older than him. I have got an older brother. So it's used as both an attributive adjective and a predicative adjective. But how about elder? Only used as an attributive adjective. Yeah. And the difference between farther and further, both of them can be used to refer to distance. But which one can only be used to mean additional, extra, further? So farther doesn't have this meaning. Okay, we looked at adjective phrase structure and also the functions. So in an adjective phrase structure, the key word is the head is the adjective. And before that, we can have the premodifier. And this premodifier is usually the degree adverb, like quite, rather, very, extremely. And then after the head, we can have the postmodifier. And this postmodifier can be a prepositional phrase, we just said keen on something, excited about something, or it can also be up to infinitive. For example, I'm very happy to do something. To do something, happy to do something. Or it can also be a that clause. I'm afraid that he won't come. I'm afraid what? Afraid that he won't come. So afraid that he won't come together is an adjective phrase. And in this adjective phrase, afraid is the head, and then that he won't come is the postmodifier. Okay, and we also looked at functions of adjective phrases. Now I won't go to the details. We go to revisit the functions. Okay, now let's look at some teaching ideas. Well, in this website, we've got several lesson plans on adjectives. I like this one very much. Adjectives for countries. If you are asked to design a task at the end, after the students have learned these adjectives like British, American, Indian, Japanese, what kind of task can we design for them to do, to use the language meaningfully? What do you think? Any idea that pops to your mind immediately? A task that is meaningful, having a context, has a purpose, involves students doing and thinking, involves their knowledge and skills. There will be a product, an end product. So remember those 5 features of the task. So what kind of task can be designed at the end of the unit so that the students can use these adjectives? American, Japanese, Chinese. When will we use this? When do we talk about this?
Introduce a foreign friend.
Introducing a foreign friend, okay? Different friends from different countries, like an international night, okay? Or where can you find these different kinds of things? From different nationalities.
In the supermarket.
In a supermarket, oh, that's good. In a supermarket, different columns selling different kinds of food. Or maybe in a fair. Okay, a fair. Also different corners for different nationalities.
When we talk about food, different types of food that comes from different countries.
The food from different countries, well done. Like in a food court, yes? In a food court you can find different corners selling different kinds of food. So in this, for this topic, adjectives for countries, the group of students has designed 2 different lesson plans for the junior primary and senior primary. And so for the one level, it is about food courts. He's asking them to design a food court. And then another one is about travel brochure. Introducing different countries. So you can be creative design and tasks that can allow the students to use the language. So have time to look at this. I strongly recommend you to look at adjectives for countries. I like the design. And then now, I would like to talk about one lesson plan. Okay, this one. That includes the problem-solving stage using corpus. Okay, designed by Choi Lam and me. Now, the lesson objectives demonstrate awareness of the forms of comparatives and superlatives. And so, of course, the form is important, but we don't just look at the form, we should also look at some other things. And the students should show awareness of how the number of syllables determines comparatives and superlative forms. This is what we did this morning, something similar. And show awareness of the various forms of comparatives and superlatives of some syllable word, of some 2-syllable words. So this is more for the advanced level to let them be aware of the variant forms. So remember we said that some of them can have both the inflectional form ER in AST and also the analytical forms more and most. So objective 3 is for the more advanced students. Of course it can be omitted if you don't think that's suitable for the students. And then point 4, write a text to describe the classmates using correct comparatives and superlatives. Okay, so using the language to write a text to talk about their friend or their classmates. And finally, show appreciation of individual differences. So this part is not directly related to language, but nowadays when we say we teach English, we have got different domains. not just the English subject knowledge, but also the skills, the 4 skills: listening, speaking, and writing, and also the experiential domain, your attitude change. So the last point is about that appreciation of individual differences. Right, so the first stage is the presentation stage, presenting the target language in context. Well, here, okay, this one is for which level of students? For lower intermediates, 120 minutes. We are all special, that's the topic. So it starts with comparing animals. Are all animals the same? Watch the video about Lisa and her family's zoo. Her family's zoo visit. You will hear them comparing the animals, find out the different characteristics of the animals. So this is a listening activity for the students to watch the video and also to arouse their interest. So we'll watch part of this.
Let's go see the turtles.
Oh, I love the turtles. Let's go see the turtles. Look, Lisa, the turtles are swimming.
It must be wonderful to swim all day.
If I was an animal, I would want to swim.
The otters are swimming animals too.
Can we go see the otters, Mom?
Yes, let's go see the otters.
Mom, you're right. The otters do swim.
They are faster swimmers than the turtles.
Faster then, huh? They are faster.
They really like to play. They are more playful than the turtles, too.
Yes, otters are very playful animals.
Freddy, look. They are playing chase.
They are so cute.
You are also very cute.
They are my favorite animals.
All right, so it's like that.
Can lions swim, Mom?
I think they can, but they mostly live on land.
All right. So after watching this video clip, the students can complete these sentences. So what swims faster than what? Otters swim faster than turtles, and so on. So this can give them language practice, and they can understand the meanings well with those pictures, the video clips, instead of presenting isolated sentences without any context. Okay, then after the presentation stage, now it comes to the problem solving stage. The comparative forms, read the lines below. How many syllables do the highlighted words have? Complete the table below. So 1 to 2 syllables, 3 or more syllables. So they can fill in the blanks. Complete the table. And then they can come to a conclusion. A comparative compares two objects. The form ER then is used usually when the adjective or adverb has 1 or 2 syllables or 3 or more syllables. They have to choose one. Which one should they choose? 1 or 2 for ER, yeah. And more than is usually used with adjectives with 3 or more syllables. so they can discover the language by themselves with those examples given. And then similarly, they do the same for the superlative form, EST, and also more and most, okay? And then again, they work out the conclusion. And optional now, that is about the variant forms for the more advanced students. So 2 syllable words, read the lines below and complete the following table, like happier, happiest, most happy, politest, politer, more polite, and so on. So they can become more aware of the different spellings or different ways to form the comparative and superlative forms. Okay, again, so you can also include this one. What are the other adjectives that can be used with ER and EST and with more and most? So both variants are possible. Find them out using a corpus. So this is for the advanced students to do. Okay, language practice now. Fill in the correct comparative or superlative adjective in each blank. Again, these lines can be taken from the corpus. She has the most beautiful voice. So more language, after the problem solving stage, you can have this controlled language practice. And finally, we go to the production stage, writing my classmates and I. Everyone in our class is unique, sure, all are different, and special, unique and special. Jot down some descriptions about yourself first, and then about interview your 2 classmates to find out what are their features. So you can do the comparison afterwards. So what is your date of birth? When were you born? Then you can compare the age, height. How tall are you? Right. So you can give them some the scaffolding, guiding them with some topics here. How many family members do you have at home? How often do you play electronic games? And so on. And interest classes, every week, how many interest classes do you have to attend? In Hong Kong, young kids have got so many classes to attend, they're so busy. All right, here you can have some blanks for the students to feel, to think about their own ideas, what they want to ask their friends. So to make it less control at the end. And finally, after collecting the information, well, based on the information given or gathered above, introduce yourself and your friends to your classmates using comparatives and superlatives. Remember to show respect for your friends and appreciation of individual differences in the description. Remember the last language objective? Appreciate individual differences. So remind your students, so you can give them some suggested adjectives, and of course they can also include some others on their own. Right, so here my classmates and I. And at the end, most important of all, we are all unique and special. And we're I love my classmates. Make it very positive, because if you don't remind them, they may say something negative. It can cause embarrassment. All right, so we can teach English and also moral values at the same time. Right. So in this unit plan, we can have the production stage, problem solving stage, practice and also finally the production. And students don't just write individual isolated sentences, but now they have to write a short text, including the target language. All right? So bear this in mind when you design your assignments. Have you found your group members? Yeah, you should start thinking now, I think. In groups of 3 or 4. Well, we can also teach adjectives in the form of a game, of course. So I wrote an article about using games. So adjective preposition collocations like interested is followed by in, excited about, insensitive to, worried about, and so on. How did you learn this in the old days? Yeah, memorizing. But we can also play games so that the students can also internalize the structures. Well, after I saw you this morning, I did something on my PowerPoint slides to make it more explicit to you how we can play this game. So you see, Jackie is hardworking. Keep revising my materials. Now, we can play a fishing game. When I was a small child, I was quite creative, I think. I made my own rules, game rules, and played games. We played cards. I like playing cards so much. So after I became a teacher, I tried to apply some of those ideas to teaching. Now, so for playing cards, you have got 52 cards. Now you can make your own cards, 40 to 50, I think, manageable. Then I think it's good for you to play with 2 people or at most 3 people. I usually play with a friend, in pairs. So after shuffling the cards, you put down 10 cards on the table like this, the 10 cards here. Up to you, it can be 10 or it can be 8. Several cards here. Both players can see the cards, see the words there. And then each player holds 5 cards maybe. So I got these 5 cards and the other player holds another 5 cards. So we take turns to match the adjective and the preposition. So let's say I got afraid and frightened and excited and good. All right, so afraid, which one? Can go with afraid? Afraid of. Right, so I can pair it. Yeah? So afraid of or frightened of. Frightened of, okay. So I can keep this pair. Then it's the other player's turn. Okay. Then after he or she plays that, it's my turn. Okay. Can I get another pair? Yeah. Excited about. Yeah, excited about. Okay, I can get this pair. Then the other player plays. Okay, my third turn now. Anything? Any match?
Afraid to.
Probably nothing. No. If I can't find a pair, a match, then I can take a card. Because there should be some remaining cards, right? Get a card and see what that card is. If it matches, then I can take the card, right? For example, I get at here, then put at. Okay, I can get it. But if I get off here, it doesn't match, then I should return this card to the table there, facing upwards, so that the other player can find a match. Alright? in the old days when I played the cards, we could do it in two different ways. Either in terms of the number, so the same number, 5 and 5, okay, match 5 and 5. Or we play it like
How about 请勿外部
or making them 10. Let's say I've got 7 here. Okay, 3, 7 and 3. So that match. So it's all well. You can think of your own rules how to play it. All right. So this is another game. Yeah, you have got find the tortoise. If time allows today, actually at the end I would like to play a game. Find the tortoise with you. I like to move on to. All right. You see, I've got the cards here. 條烏龜. But I think it's better for us to learn a new topic first before we play it. All right, adverbs and prepositions. And please go home to do the exercises on adjectives and adjective phrases. Right, have you all got the handout? Any spare ones? Now, well, we put adverbs and prepositions together because they share some similar functions. And we'll look at that later. Okay, in chapter 5 of Colin's book, you can find some relevant exercises there. 5D, 5F, 5J, and these exercises can be found on Moodle. So please find time to do them. And also, I have put down an article written by me, Between and Among. It has been uploaded onto Moodle. When do we use between and when do we use among? In the old days, what did your teacher tell you? For between, yeah, it's used for two people or two things. Yes. Among is for three or more than three. Yeah, usually we say it that way. But in this article, I challenge this because sometimes we can use between for more than two entities. So have some time to look at that, to read that, to see when we can use between for three people or things. All right, features of adverbs and also adverb phrase structure and their functions. Then we'll look at the features of prepositions and also the prepositional phrase structure and functions. Now first, let's look at adverbs and adverb phrases. And just like adjectives, we can look at adverbs according to the function, the dependence, inflection, and lexical morphology. Before we look at the PowerPoint slides, can you tell me, based on what you have learned on grammar now, function of an adverb? It is used as the adjunct. Okay, an adjunct. It is used as a head in an adverb phrase. And very often, adverbs can be used as adjuncts, but that's not the only function. Adverbs can be used in a phrase, modifying another phrase. Okay, dependence. Before an adverb and after an adverb. Can we find pre-modifiers and post-modifiers? Like the word hard. He works hard. He works very hard. Yeah, we can have the pre-modifier. We can also have the post-modifier. We'll look at that. Inflection. Now, so far we have looked at nouns, verbs, adjectives. All these three word classes have got inflectional morphemes. Nouns, there are two. What are they? Plural, S, and also the possessive case that was apostrophe S. Verbs, we have 4 inflectional morphemes. Third person singular present tense S. Past tense morphemes. Present participle, the ing morpheme. And also the past participle morpheme, like broken. You have the part. Broken means break plus the past participle morpheme. So it's broken. So, and then we have adjectives. Adjectives have got 2 inflectional morphemes. What are they? ER and EST. Then how about adverbs? Do they have inflectional morphemes? Yes or no? We'll see. Okay. Lexical morphology. What is the most common suffix? ly. Yeah. To form an adverb, usually we have ly like carelessly, or carefully, happily. Yeah, ly. Good. So you see, you have got a very clear mindset now. Now let's look at them one by one. Now first, let's look at lexical morphology. As we have said, ly is the most commonly used suffix to form